Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So help me God.
Thank you, sir.
And give me her full name, please.
Maria Perez, Maria Perez.
Okay. And how do you know her, and where is she from, and so forth?
She is the owner of 1205 St. Charles. I call her Mama Perez.
I'm sorry, you have to excuse me. I'm from over
That's who rents me her bedroom, her room, her house.
Okay. Where you live?
Right, exactly.
I'm sorry, it's 1205
St. Charles Road.
Is that east or west?
I just got it at St. Charles. I just go there, I stay there, and I go on. If I come for a day or 2 days or a week.
Well, if you're going there off of Business 83, which way do you go?
I'm always driven here. So.
Okay. All right, fair. Well,
I'm sorry about that.
That's all right. That's all right. Were you driven here today?
Yes, I was.
Okay. So you have somebody waiting outside for you?
No.
Okay. Somebody's dropped you off and will come back and get you later on. All right. Who is that, sir?
It'll either be Miss Perez, or Miss Longoria, or a staff person that we've had working here.
Okay.
Jorge Martinez.
Okay. Do you know a gentleman by the name of Tony Juarez?
Yes, I do.
And who is Tony Juarez?
He is now the executive director of the Brownsville Housing Authority. He's also fired by the Brownsville Independent School District.
In terms of Ms. Perez, do you have a written contract with her where you use her house as a residence, or you reside there, or is it just a verbal thing that you have?
I have a written.
You have a written contract?
I'll make that available to you.
Please, I'd appreciate that. In terms of I think you told us earlier that you had 3 places where you resided, right?
Mm-hmm.
You said Chicago, Dallas, and Brownsville. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Okay. If you had to pick one place that you would consider to be your primary residence, what would you pick?
Well, I couldn't answer that. I think they're all primary.
All 3 of them equal?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you spend most of your time? If you had to break up your year, where do you spend most of the time?
For a period of time, I spent a lot of time in Brownsville.
Yes, sir, I understand that. But let's say for 2009, where did you spend the majority of your time?
In Brownsville.
That's Brownsville. So easily more than 50% of your time in 2009 you spent it in Brownsville.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I have what's marked as exhibit number A. Or exhibit 1, should I say. And let me purport to you what it is. It's a deposition that was taken on March 30th, 2010 of Mr. Quintanilla, of Carlos Quintanilla, the same Mr. Carlos Quintanilla that you're talking about today. Okay?
Okay.
And in this deposition, I'll refer to you what he says on page 6. He says, and let me quote you what he says. The question was, Mr. Quintanilla, where do you reside, sir? And his answer was, I have dual residence. I have residence in Dallas, Texas. It's 20, actually I have 3 addresses. I have one in Chicago. And the attorney says, yes, sir. And then his answer is 1 in Dallas and 1 in Brownsville. The question is, would you be so kind enough to give us those addresses, please? And he answers yes. The actual address for Dallas, Texas is 421 South Dwight. The address for Chicago, Illinois is 2708 Albany. And the one in Brownsville is 1205 St. Charles. And it goes on to say, okay, of those addresses, which is the one you consider to be your domicile? All 3 of them. All 3 of them? The answer is yes. The question is, all right, how long have you been living at address in Brownsville, sir? Living? He asks. Well, using it, and the question is, well, using it, reciting it, having it. The answer was, what would you define as living? The question is, let me ask you this, do you own that house? The answer is, no, I don't. The question is, okay, how long have you had the lease or the contract there? The answer is over 6 months. The question is, over 6 months? All right, and is that the contract under your name? And the answer is, yes, it is. Okay? He says that going from page 6 through page 7 of the deposition. On page 97, line 17, he's asked, so you said 3, Carlos Quintanilla and Lucy Longoria. Who's the third? His answer is, and Miss Perez. Give me her full name, please. The answer is Maria Perez. Maria Perez, Perez. The question is, okay, and how do you know her? And where is she from? And so forth. The answer is, she is the owner of 1205 St. Charles.
What?
Hold on a second. She is the owner of 1205 St. Charles. I call her Mama Perez. Okay, hold on. Let me finish reading the question. The question, I'm sorry, you have to excuse me. I'm in front over here. The answer, that's who rents me her office, her bedroom, her room, her house. Okay, where you live? Right. His answer is right, exactly. The question is, I'm sorry, it's 1205? The answer is St. Charles Road. And the question is that east or west? The answer is, I just got St. Charles. I just go there, I stay there, and I go out if I come for a day or 2 days or a week. Okay? Now, he goes on page 101, and he says, the question is, Mr. Quintanilla, this is line 3 of page 101 of his deposition. Mr. Quintanilla, we're asking you about the list of people, and I also think that where we last left off was talking about who else was assisting you in the acquisition and the acquiring of information. And I think you told us that it was, besides yourself, Lucy Longoria and Maria Perez. That takes me to a specific question. In terms of Ms. Perez, do you have a written contract with her where you use her house as a residence of you reside there, or is it you just have a verbal thing you have with her? The answer is, I have a written. Question is, you have a written contract? The answer is, I'll make that available to you. Okay? Wow. Now, with regards to that testimony I just gave you, that was testimony from Mr. Quintanilla's deposition given, his deposition given under oath on March 30th, 2010. What you have is marked as exhibit number 1. Would you like to look at the parts that I was talking about so that you can read it yourself?
No, I believe it. Or
okay.
I can read it either way.
Okay. Is it true that he lived at your house?
No. No, he never lived at my house. He visited my house on October and never again until close to the election time and after election time.
Okay, well this is, remember, you're talking about October 2009, right?
Yes. Yes.
And you didn't meet again with him until August of 2010?
No. I met with him, but not at my house.
Okay.
I met with him periodically in Denny's, or that was the only place we ever went to, Denny's. We didn't go anywhere else. It was either Denny's or my house.
Okay.
But for several months, since October of 2009 until August of 2010, we only met maybe twice or 3 times in Denny's. Period.
So at
the rest of the conversation was always, or communication was by telephone.
So, do you even know who Mama Perez is?
No, I don't know who Mama Perez is, and I do own the house in 1205 West Charles, and I never gave him a contract, and he never lived in my house other than one day that he spent the night with his children right around Thanksgiving of 2010.
Of 2010?
2010.
He spent one night?
One night with his 2 children.
So at the time that he gave this testimony in March of 2010, it is your testimony that you neither had a written contract with him. Is that correct?
Absolutely correct.
And he never even stayed at your house, much less considered it as a residence.
Absolutely correct. And my name is no Mama Perez, and my name is no Maria Perez, and there is no Maria Perez that owns that house. I have owned that house. I had it built in 2001. It's my house.
Did Lucy Longoria ever know about the lawsuit?
Yes. So,
How do
because one time Lucy called me and asked me if I will go with her to the courthouse. And I think also Mr. Quintanilla had called me or had called her. I don't know how it was, but I don't remember exactly how it was. But anyway, she told me, would you go with me to the courthouse? We got to file some paper for Mr. Quintanilla. And I say, okay. And then I say, where do I meet you? Or you pick me up? And she says, no, meet me at the courthouse. Okay. So the following day, we were to meet at the courthouse, and we went. I met her right outside. And that was the day that she wore a wig, a long hair wig, and dark glasses. I asked her why she was doing it, and she said, because she didn't want to be recognized, which makes sense. I witness I am.
So you're saying that she was filing a lawsuit for Mr. Quintanilla against us?
He was filing some papers, but I don't know the specifics of those papers, but it had to do with Ruben Cortez and Rick Zayas, and she never showed them to me. But she did file them.
And you went with her?
I went with her.
And she wore a wig and glasses so she would not be recognized?
Yes.
Do you know why she was ashamed to be recognized?
No. She never told me. And I didn't never ask.
Okay.
Lucy Longoria, you are familiar with Lucy?
Yes, I am.
Longoria. Okay. And tell the jury, who is Lucy Longoria?
She is I think she was the secretary to Mr. Gonzalez.
Have you ever had any communications or conversations with Ms. Longoria?
Many.
Okay, let's start with, when was the first communication you ever had with Ms. Longoria?
When I met with the special needs, she was at that meeting.
Oh, that same meeting? Okay. And I take it from your previous answer that you've discussed or you've met with her, you've had communications with her, many since that time?
That's correct.
Okay. What's been the nature of your communications with her?
Lots of communications.
Yeah, but what is it? What do you discuss with her? Just
Well, we're building, we're being sued. She is assisting us in gathering information, providing us information, news reports, blog reports. She has become a part of our organization. She'll pick me up at the airport. We'll go to meetings.
Is your relationship with Ms. Longoria purely business, or is it now turned into something more personal?
It's business, but I find that to be very insulting. You should
I
be
haven't
ashamed
offended
of
you, sir.
yourself.
No. Sir, you earlier mentioned that you were divorced. Did you not tell me that?
I just got divorced, yes.
Well,
But,
I don't know. There's nothing wrong, sir, in asking you.
That's really outside the scope, but
I
it's
don't
a
agree with
business
you.
relationship.
What I'm asking, do you have a personal relationship with Ms.
No, it's
Longoria?
a business relationship.
Okay, that was fair enough. There was nothing offensive meant in that. You said that she is now helping and assisting. What do you mean by
As
that?
many parents are helping.
I understand, but I'm asking about Ms. Longoria. What is it she
Hector
specifically
Gonzalez
does?
is helping us.
I'm asking about Ms. Longoria specifically. What is it she does?
What does she do? Ms. Longoria, for example, if there's an article about Brownsville, she'll email it to me. If there's an issue about Brownsville, she'll send me a text message. If there's an issue regarding reports that are public, she'll make me aware of them. If, she'll give me updates on what's going on at the board meeting. She's attended board meetings with us. She's been at meetings with us. We've had dinner with individuals where she's been present. So,
How is she employed now, Ms. Longoria?
I think she's retired.
Oh, she's retired? Okay. Who is it specifically that you've asked to sign affidavits?
Well, You know, we've disclosed that in our discovery. I think that, you know, we've...
Well, I've read your discovery. I don't think there is any listing there of people that are going to provide affidavits. But that's the specific question.
Well, they would provide testimony. So we have people that are talking to them, kind of hearing their story, documenting it.
When you say there are people hearing their story, who's the people that are hearing their
For
story?
example, Lucy Longoria, you know, I've asked her to talk to Art Rendon, get an idea, get, you know, the specifics, what went on in his case, what are the issues in the case, what are the allegations in the case, what he feels are, you know, positions that are adverse to him. How can we use any information in our lawsuit to defend ourselves against Mr. Sayas and Cortez? You know, the work that you would do as a good lawyer.
This work that you're describing, and I thank you for that description, this work that you're describing, have you done that also with all these witnesses?
Yes.
Or is it Ms. Longoria's doing it?
I've done that.
All right. Well, besides yourself then, Ms. Longoria is doing it, right?
Right.
Anybody else besides you and Ms. Longoria that are doing that kind of, and I would call it grunt work or foot, you know, soldier work to get all that information together?
We have multiple people doing
Who
grunt
else?
work.
Besides yourself, besides Ms. Longoria, who else is doing it?
I mean, we have all of them. I mean, we've talked to, I've spoken with Ben Neese.
I'm sorry, who?
Ben Neese.
And who's Ben Neese?
He's the attorney for Art Rendon.
And is he also interviewing people and obtaining information for you?
No.
Yeah.
We've also talked to, I've met with Mr. Gomez on this lawsuit.
Who's Mr.
Ernesto Gomez.
And is that Ernesto Gomez, is he doing this obtaining of information? That's all I'm talking about.
Okay, obtaining
Who
of
is
info.
it?
You asked me, who have I talked to regarding this lawsuit?
No.
Okay, then
No,
can you
I'm
repeat the
asking-
question?
Yes. You took us into this subset information where you said that Ms. Longoria was assisting you in putting together this information. Putting this information from potential witnesses who will either provide an affidavit or testimony. That's what I'm talking about.
She's assisting us in secretarial
I
administrative.
got you.
Okay.
So besides you and besides Ms. Longoria, who else is doing the footwork? Who is going out there and interviewing all these witnesses besides you and Ms. Longoria? Who else?
Well, we have a lot of people. Just
Who else is doing it?
anybody that has a story or a message or an incident
Yes, sir.
or we're asking them to contact with us.
No, I understand.
So we're getting calls, for example, from someone says, hey, look into this may be able to help you. Okay, so we follow up on that. They go, oh, ask this person regarding this, and then we follow up on that. Or say, or, you know, how about this person? Ask for this contract, or ask for that. So we're getting a lot of information from a lot of people
I understand.
that we've raised in our lawsuit. And so I think that what we're doing is talking to as many people as we can to get as much information so that we can adequately present our arguments in court.
Objection non-responsive. This is my question to you, Mr. Quintanilla. I understand that there's got to be a few people, or maybe only one or two, that are obtaining this information. Obtaining it. I understand there may be many sources. I understand that.
Yeah, there's just one or two.
That's what I'm asking.
Three people.
So you said three. Carlos Quintanilla, Lucy Longoria, who's the third?
And Ms. Perez.
And give me her full name, please.
Maria Perez.
Okay.
Be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
So help me God.